Well, hello again, BookTube. Today is Thursday, and that means Poetry Thursday, where your favorite booktubers and the most annoying booktubers read you a poem or two and perhaps talk about it. And since this is the last Thursday of the Sound of May, the event that Steve Donahue and I are hosting, I thought I would read you a couple poems about music. One poem is about music, and another one is a poem that it was originally a poem, but then it was put to song. So I think that counts. And this first one is by Elizabeth Bishop, a poet that I usually don't get along with. I have tried really hard to read her North and South poetry collection. I think that's what her most famous work of poetry is. I think she won like a Pulitzer Prize for that work of poetry. But for whatever reason, I cannot get into her poetry at all. I'm very fussy when it comes to poetry. But this poem she wrote, I actually like a lot, and it is about music. It's called "I Am in Need of Music." So, I am in need of music that would flow over my fretful feeling fingertips, over my bitter tainted trembling lips, with melody, deep, clear, and liquid slow. Oh, for the healing, swaying, old and low, of some song sung to rest the tired dead, a song to fall like water on my head, and over quivering limbs, dream flushed to glow. There is a magic made by melody, a spell of rest and quiet breath and cool heart that sinks through fading colors deep to the subaqueous stillness of the sea, and floats forever in a moon-green pool, held in the arms of rhythm and of sleep. I think that is quite nice. Apologies for my butchering the reading of it. One of the reasons I don't like Bishop's poetry all that much is that it reads more like a series of sentences or a paragraph rather than an actual poem. To me, there seems to be no rhythm in it at all. At least I can't figure out how to do it. But I like that poem. I like that poem a lot. So that was called "I Am in Need of Music." And this next poem is by Patrick Kavanagh, and it's a popular folk song in Ireland called "On Raglan Road." Patrick Kavanagh initially wrote this as a poem, and then I forget who it was that first did it, but they put the words of the poem to song, and I think the most famous version of it is Luke Kelly of the Dubliners, his version of it. My personal favorite version of this, it's one of my absolute favorite songs in the world, like for sure a top 3, and it is the version by the High Kings, another Irish folk group. But I thought, well, I'll just read to you this poem because it was originally written as a poem, and I will try not to read it in the rhythm of the way that people sing it. So this is called "On Raglan Road." Like I said. On Raglan Road, on an autumn day, I met her first and knew that her dark hair would weave a snare that I might one day rue. I saw the danger, yet I walked along the enchanted way, and I said let grief be a fallen leaf at the dawning of the day. On Grafton Street in November we tripped lightly along the ledge of the deep ravine where can be seen the worth of passion's pledge. The Queen of Hearts still making tarts, and I not making hay. Oh, I loved too much, and by such and such is happiness thrown away. I gave her gifts of the mind, I gave her the secret sign that's known to the artists who have known the true gods of sound and stone. And word and tint I did not stint, for I gave her poems to say, with her own name there and her own dark hair, like clouds over fields of May. On a quiet street, where old ghosts meet, I see her walking now. Away from me so hurriedly, my reason must allow that I wooed not as I should a creature made of clay. When the angel woos the clay, he'd lose his wings at the dawn of day. I feel a little bit like Seamus Heaney whenever I read poems. I'm not very good at reading them, but I absolutely love that poem. It has just the right amount of melancholy and moodiness that a young dude bro such as myself loves. But if you ever get a chance, if you've never, I'd be surprised if you haven't heard this song at least at one point. My personal favorite is by the High Kings. If you look up that version, Paddy Riley also does a very good version of it. I really don't care for Luke Kelly's version. I know that is sacrilege to the Irish, but but I wanted to just read those two poems to you on Poetry Thursday. Sorry that this is coming out so late, but it's been a busy week. So anyway, I will see you next time.